Hi everyone, it's Monday, it's 4 o'clock, which means it's time for the Hostess Next Door. I'm your host, Chef Vanessa Cantave. I'm so excited to be with you today. We've got Sarah with us. Hi Sarah.
Hello.
Sarah is going to be taking your comments and your questions, so make sure you guys get involved. I'd love to hear from you. And today's episode is amazing. We are going to be talking about, have you ever had, obviously you have, friends who just are maybe coming over and you're not really ready. Maybe you only have 20 minutes or 30 minutes to get ready. So we've got last minute entertaining ideas. I've got a few tips for you. We're gonna do a bunch of recipes. Everything's gonna be really, really simple. You can make it in just a few minutes. So let's get started. In the meantime, today I would love it if during the show you guys go ahead and just send me whatever ideas you have for what your favorite last minute entertaining snacks recipes are, and then we can kind of share with everyone. So, all right, let's get started. The first recipe we're going to do is a crostini. So there's a million different ways that you can make a really yummy crostini. I'm going to make one today, but you can get as creative as you want. Remember, this is last minute, so it's going to come down to sometimes just what you have in your refrigerator. So let's get started. We have some crostini that I've already made here. These are nice. You can toast them. You can grill them. You could even buy them already made, but that's, it's so easy. You're just slicing bread and then really just drying it out in the oven. So we used baguette today, and what I've got here is a little bit of ricotta, which I usually have, which is weird that I usually have, but I definitely usually have ricotta. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit, and you know what? I'll make a few at a time. Because, listen, your guests are going to be here any minute, right? So let's make about 4 of these. So first, you just want to layer them. We'll start with the ricotta. And this is just a nice part skim, low moisture ricotta. You can use cream cheese if you want. There's literally so many toppings. I've done things before where I used a crostini that was savory and sweet that I made with Nutella. Sarah, do you ever have people who just decide they're gonna pop over last minute?
I do, and I love easy snacks like this, so I'm definitely paying close attention to you.
Awesome.
We have a lot of people saying hi, by the way.
Hi.
Yeah, we have Rochelle from Melbourne in Australia. Jackie from Monterey, Tennessee. We got people from Iowa, people from New York.
Of course, New York, right?
Yep.
We're getting ready to get apparently 12 to 14 inches of snow this week. I think it's going to start tomorrow. And snow day parties, hey, you could definitely make some of these recipes if some folks stop by. We know they've already canceled school, so if you're planning on being in the house, these might be some fun recipes that you can have. So right now I'm just I'm playing with a piece of prosciutto, whereas we're going to put that on top. But before we put the prosciutto on top, I'm going to take some pear. This is Anjou pear. You can use any kind of pear, really. So I'm just going to cut this pear. This is such a great flavor combination. Pear and cured meats. It's kind of salty and sweet, and you get that fresh taste. So we're just going to kind of thinly slice the pear. So we're going to layer it on top. Oh man, this is so yummy.
I have Kristen Mahoney says this would be good with goat cheese. How do you feel about that? Oh
yeah, for sure. Goat cheese is definitely, and that's probably something that folks would actually have in their refrigerator. So I love the goat cheese idea. I'm going to put the pear here. And just like that. Put a little bit more right here. Then we're going to take the prosciutto, just kind of layer that on top. So we're really just building. I guess that's sort of the word that we want to use, is building a crostini. And it's fun to have at least 3 or 4 ingredients. This is great. There's no cooking involved, so you definitely can do this rather quickly if you're having people over.
We have somebody asking if the pear's brown once you leave them out.
Yeah, so if you wanted to, on this step, you could take a lemon and you could just slice the lemon and drizzle it a little bit on top. And what that's going to do is the acidity is going to stop the pears from oxidizing. So you could definitely do that. And then I'm going to take a little bit of honey. Let me plate these up for you guys. We'll drizzle the honey there.
We have a lot of people writing in with their own suggestions.
Oh, I'd love to hear.
Yeah. Kristen says that she would put some spreadable fig on that.
Yeah.
Heather Richardson says that layered flavors are always great.
That sounds really good. I'm a huge fan of fig, so I love that comment. I love fig jam on just about everything. It's the perfect kind of sweet that pairs really nicely with like cured meats and fancy cheeses. So then I'm just going to put a little bit of fresh pepper, and that's our first recipe. That's how fast today. Everything's going to be really, really quick.
Wow.
So here's our first one. This is our crostini with pear, prosciutto, ricotta, honey, and fresh black pepper. See how easy that one was?
Now, we have one person asking if you can bake them.
If you can bake them, well, there's not really a reason to bake those, but if you wanted to make something that had like a melty kind of cheese, you could definitely do something with a melty kind of cheese. But this one really, you don't really want to put the prosciutto and the pear like in the oven. But there are so many different kinds of ways to do crostini, so definitely get creative. I'd love to hear anyone else's recipe ideas for crostini, but yeah. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to make is, I'm actually going to do one for you today that's like a slightly bit more involved. It's a hot recipe, and we're going to do a spicy garlic shrimp with lemon. I think you guys are going to love this one. So this I like to do when I'm having people over, like more like sometimes my girlfriends come over just to watch like a show. I will literally have girlfriends who come over because they're like, oh my God, I didn't know the blah, blah, blah awards are on tonight. Can I come over? And I'm like, okay, cool, sure. So I always have like people coming over to like watch a show or the finale of a show. And that's like definitely tends to be my last minute parties are usually things that have to do with television or movies. So this feels a little bit more substantial than a snack, but it's still a snack. We're gonna do the spicy shrimp. So here we'll get started. Turn our little pan on. We are going to start with olive oil. So we're going to use more olive oil than we probably would because it becomes sort of part of the sauce, right? Because we're going to serve it with crusty bread. Oh, it's going to be so yummy. All right. And shrimp cooks really fast. So we're going to throw the shrimp in here. Well, let me just see if this is hot. Yeah, so we'll throw the shrimp in. You can hear it. The shrimp I bought, obviously to save time, because we don't have a lot of time if this is for last minute entertaining. So I've got shrimp that are already peeled and already deveined. I do like to keep the tails on. That's just a personal preference. If you don't want to, you can get them completely removed. You could also get them, if you like to have more of like a peel and eat, that's totally your prerogative. So I'm going to throw the shrimp in there, and I'm also going to put some fresh garlic in there.
We have a lot of shrimp lovers tuning in. Yeah, people are very excited about this. They said it sounds yummy. They're going to use this for a baby shower that they have coming up. And they love shrimp, especially if you're fortunate enough to get them fresh.
Yes, exactly. So I'm also going to put a little bit of red pepper flakes. So that's what makes it spicy. I love the idea of spicy and garlicky. We're trying to pack a lot of flavor with not a lot of ingredients and in a short period of time. So I'm going to put some red pepper flakes in there. Here I've got, this is just like a few sprigs of parsley I've picked, and then we're just going to sort of chop that up. That'll go in, kind of become part of the sauce, part of the garnish. This is such a good one. You know, at this stage, if you had like wine and you wanted to put it in there, you could. It would kind of feel like shrimp that you get from like a seafood restaurant.
If you didn't have fresh herbs, could you do this with dried herbs as well?
Yeah, you could. You could. If you had like dried parsley flakes, why not? It's so much better with the fresh parsley, but you definitely could.
And somebody's asking how much red pepper you put in?
We did 1 teaspoon. And I think the recipe is going to be pinned, so definitely check out. Each week we try to pin the recipes up for you guys, so you can actually go home and like recreate these. So here I'm going to just grate a little bit of lemon. This is going to become like part of the garnish for this one, along with the parsley. But I also want to use the lemon juice. So I'm going to kind of hide this over here, cut this lemon. Don't worry, it's all messy and it's all going in the same place. All right. Tossing that. Okay. So now I'm just going to put a little bit of lemon juice in here. This whole thing takes about 5 minutes. So I love all the recipes for today because they're so fast and they're so easy. So we're going to let this just kind of cook down for about literally 1 or 2 more minutes, and that's it.
Is there a way to tell when the shrimp is ready?
Yeah, so shrimp is so easy because it shows you, right? It turns this really beautiful pink color. You don't want to overdo it. You really are, if you were grilling it, you would be doing like about 2 minutes per side, but since we're sort of more like sauteing it here, I can just kind of take a peek. You can literally just see, you know, once it's completely pink and it has no translucency, that's when you know it's ready. Oh my God, can you smell this, Sarah?
It smells amazing.
I feel like I don't do a lot of stuff with seafood in here, but like this is super yummy.
And the shrimp are so good for you too, right?
Yeah.
I think that shrimp have a lot of health benefits actually.
Ugh, so yummy. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of sea salt, just like that. I don't know, for some reason sea salt with seafood, it makes sense to me. So we're gonna do it like that. All right, now we're just gonna plate it up. All right, so I got this really nice bowl. I'm going to use the same crostini to serve it with that I made the fresh crostini with. So the idea here is to just have like a really nice like crusty bread or something like that. So we're going to pour it. And you see all of that olive oil and lemon juice and all of that, you want that because that's what you're going to dip your bread into.
Oh my
That's what makes it like really good. We're going to throw a little bit of the lemon zest that we had. We're going to throw a bunch of this parsley that we had, and it all just sort of like becomes part of the sauce. So good.
That looks so fancy, but I know that it took you so little time.
So little time. I mean, literally we did it from start to finish right here, right now, and you see 5 minutes. I think it probably took about 5 minutes. I mean, someone might have been timing me. But yeah, that one is really easy.
You've got a lot of fans. You have Tony Hicks saying, I smell this amazing dish right from my couch.
So good.
Let's see. Ricky Gilbert, oh my gosh, I love spicy garlic shrimp. I'm making this.
Ugh, it's one of my favorite things. And so like, yeah, especially, you know, this is something where you might not have the shrimp on hand, right? But that you could probably just go quickly to the store and get. You know, there's a bunch of stuff that we're working with today that, like, it's good to just sort of have already in the house, and it just makes things a little bit easier. The shrimp was one I wanted to show you because it's so easy, but I know it's not like you would have those things lying around. But if you had a little bit of extra time, it would be great because you can definitely get the shrimp, and then you're good to go. Okay, so moving on, I have to tell you guys how much I love popcorn. So me and Sarah were just talking about this right before the cameras started rolling, that I love popcorn. I've loved it forever since I was a little kid, and I don't like microwave popcorn because it doesn't make sense to me since you can make popcorn so quickly. So I made a little bit of popcorn before I came. So I'll show you guys that. I made a little bit of popcorn before I got here. And I'm just gonna talk to you guys about like all the millions of different ways that you can flavor your popcorn. So I like to flavor mine, you know, if it's for the kids, I might do something fun and sweet. Maybe, you know, like sometimes I do like cocoa powder and powdered sugar because they like it. It's like a little bit chocolatey. If I'm doing like fancy popcorn for my girlfriends, I may throw some truffle oil on there, which is very fancy. My favorite is literally just butter. Like I could just eat popcorn as a receptacle to eat butter. But so today I'm going to show you guys one of my favorites. So easy. I'd love to hear definitely any ideas for flavoring popcorn because I always get people who tell me like what their favorite is. Today I'm just going to show you guys my fave. We're going to melt some butter. And obviously you could melt butter in the microwave. You don't have to do it like this. But we're going to melt some butter. And then my favorite actually is I grew up in the like Maryland, Virginia, DC area, and so we used to always have crabs, like on Sundays on the weekend. My dad would go and get a big bushel of crabs, and so this is sort of like reminds me of that. So we're gonna put butter, but then we're gonna just drizzle a little bit of like Chesapeake Bay seasoning on there. It's so good. It's like buttery and kind of seafoody, but not, because it's just a seasoning and it's so yummy. The other thing about the Chesapeake Bay seasoning is that it like inherently already has salt on it, so then you don't have to add like any extra salt. So when I popped the popcorn, I just used a little bit of vegetable oil, and it takes like 2 minutes. It takes like 2 minutes. So here's some fresh butter. Like I said, you could totally melt this butter in the microwave. You don't have to do like a little fancy pan like I did. But this is just the plain popcorn I made earlier with some butter.
We have some viewers writing in with their favorite popcorn.
Oh, yeah, tell me what they're saying.
So Drew says he likes bacon popcorn.
Yeah, how does that work? Wait, with the bacon grease?
With, I guess, maybe bacon grease.
Yes, I've done that before.
Tell us how you made that.
That's awesome.
We have Fifi saying Parmesan cheese.
Yes.
Kelsey Jade Clark says try honey and nutmeg.
Nice.
Parmesan powder is a favorite of Heather's.
Oh, that's good. I was debating. So before we were almost going to do a little bit of garlic salt and fresh Parmesan for you guys, and then I decided to do this Chesapeake Bay one, but that's a very good one too. Like Parmesan and a little bit of garlic is a really great flavor combination. This one I love. I'm going to eat some.
Yeah, we're getting even more that I love. Kristen says garlic salt. We're seeing cheesy popcorn is the best. Ranch popcorn, Oreo popcorn.
Ranch. That's a really good idea. You guys have really good ones today. Ranch. So like the ranch, like a powder, like.
I'm guessing
that
could work
makes
really
sense.
Well. And then I have a favorite that I've seen too. Jane says she uses jalapeno cilantro infused olive oil to give it some heat.
Nice. Also a really good idea. Absolutely. Why not just like infuse some oils with really cool flavors and then drizzle that? I'm eating the popcorn, so yeah. This is like snacks. I'm one of those people that could snack all day and not even really eat like a full meal, so I'm all about this. This is probably one of my favorite episodes already. So, okay, so we're gonna do something sort of in the same vein. This one's also really easy. It is cashews. So, you know, we can make spiced nuts really easily. I'm gonna turn on the pan. So we're gonna use a little bit of olive oil again. And I'm gonna do cashews. They're my favorite. You can use whatever nuts you like. Peanuts, walnuts, a mix of nuts, almonds, any of it. So I'm going to do a little bit of olive oil and just a little bit of butter. And let me just turn that up. So this one, I'm going to throw that in there. This is really easy. Look at all these snacks already, Sarah. It's like, I think we've been on for like 5 seconds, and like, look how many snacks we already have.
Yeah, you're being super efficient. I love this.
It's so easy. That's what I'm saying. These are all like really quick, like last minute snacks. The other thing too is like I get people who are like, well, what kind of stuff do you like to have around? So I have for you guys a little bit of like a pantry list. So these are things that are really great to just have in the house, have around in case people stop by. Fruits and vegetables, right? So you could do like crudité. I always have really nice tea, really nice coffee, because it's not necessarily like people are coming by in the evening. They could be coming by in the middle of the day. So I definitely like to have really nice tea, really nice coffee, juices, wine, beer, all that sort of stuff like keeps forever. These are like, you know, not really perishable except for the fruit. I like to have different types of fun jams. So if we were doing like tea in the afternoon and you just wanted to do like little biscuits or something, you could just have really nice jams. The cookies that you'll see, those are really cool because those are cookie dough that we made, but then we shaped it into little balls and we put them in the freezer, and so they're literally ready to go. If someone's coming over, you can just put them on a baking sheet and pop them in the oven. It takes like 15 or 20 minutes, and then look at you, you're so cool, you have freshly baked cookies that took you no time. So if you are ever making cookies, just double the recipe, keep half of it in a Ziploc bag, shape it into little balls, and then you're all ready to go. You could even cheat a little bit and buy, you know, some cookie dough if you like pre-made cookie dough, but just shape it into little balls and stick it in the freezer so it's ready to go. You know, anything to just sort of cut back on time. So here you can see I'm kind of toasting these a little too because these were raw. You could buy like the already roasted nuts, but these were like raw, so I want them to be, you know, really nice and nutty. So they're getting a little bit of color. So this is just the butter and the olive oil. I'm going to throw in some smoked Spanish paprika. This is going to give it like a really nice flavor. And I'm going to add a little bit of salt. These are unsalted. So obviously if you buy salted nuts, you don't want to add any more salt. But these were just like raw cashews, so I just wanted to make sure. Okay. And they have like a nice color. These smell really good. We are going to add a little bit of orange zest to these nuts. Just going to give it like a little bit of like a fresh flavor and just kind of make them a little bit more unique. We won't use any of the inside. We're just using the zest. And if you were like in here, you would be able to smell. It's like orange.
It smells delicious.
And smoky and oh, it's so nice.
My stomach is growling.
Right? So orange zest is great because it's gonna release there's a little bit of oil that's in the zest, which is why it has like that really great flavor. It works really nice with these nuts. All right. Okay. So here we go. Let me just grab a spoon.
You've got a lot of people enjoying this. Rosemary says it's looking great. Teresa Sadler says yummy, makes me hungry.
These are really, really easy recipes.
Mandisa loves your cookie dough idea. She says the cookie dough idea is genius.
Oh, there you go. Thank you. She's like one of our regulars. Thanks for tuning in again. All right, so these, here we go. We've got these wonderful 4 recipes. Of course, so these are the 4 we're going to make today. I just want you guys to see. And we did all of that in literally like 20 minutes. If you want, it's always a really good idea to have a cheese board. A couple other things that we had today, olives, fresh berries. You can have chips and tortilla chips. If you want to check out a really cool recipe for making your own tortilla chips, just head back a couple episodes and you can watch our episode that we did for game day favorites, and I'll show you how to make your own tortilla chips. It takes just as long as this popcorn, which is about 3 minutes. So you can have that on deck and with some salsa. So we've got a bunch of really cool, really fast recipes. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we've got some really great recipes